So at the end of our last episode where we talked about some substantive parts of civil procedure, I mentioned forum non-convenes and that I was going to be spending a little bit more time talking about forum non-convenes. It turns out in lecture we didn't end up actually talking very much about forum non-convenes. We really just gave an overview and talked about the big takeaways, and so that's what all this episode is going to be. It's going to be very quick and brief. But we have one case here is Piper Aircraft Co. versus Reno. What happened here is that Piper is a company in the United States that develops airplanes. And an accident had happened in Scotland that ended up killing several Scottish citizens and was pretty tragic accident that had occurred in Scotland. And so notice forum non-convenience is discussing venue. It's a big part of venue. And so ultimately what we're doing is figuring out whether or not venue is proper in the United States or if venue is proper in Scotland, and whether or not this case should be heard in the United States or Scotland. The plaintiffs here wanted the case heard in the United States, and the reason for that is because the United States has a lot of benefits to plaintiffs who are involved in torts, and they can collect a lot higher amount of damages, whereas in Scotland it is very limited in the damages that you can collect for something such as a wrongful death. And so the plaintiffs in this really wanted this heard in the United States. However, the court in this case dismissed this case for forum non-convenience. And the purpose for that is because venue was proper. Even though it was proper in the United States and Pennsylvania, it was also proper in Scotland. And if we're looking at all the evidence, it actually makes sense that the case should be heard in Scotland. The accident was in Scotland, the parties were in Scotland, any witnesses was in Scotland, the wreckage, all the material that could be discovered was in Scotland. So because of all these things, the court declared a forum non-convenience. And what is a forum non-convenience? All that is really saying is we are dismissing this case so it can be refiled in a venue that is more proper. And so this is something that is going to apply specifically only for foreign lawsuits. And the reason for that is because you can't transfer from a venue in the United States to a foreign venue, so you have to dismiss. So forum non-convenience is the only common law dismissal that the United States has, and it's about venue, and it's all about the evidence being in a foreign place and why we would want this case to be heard in a foreign location. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Law Schoolers. Before I let you go, there are 4 things I want to say. The first thing is if you enjoyed these episodes and if you enjoyed the website, I would invite you to go and join Law Schoolers Pro. And you can do that by going to lawschoolers.com/join. It's a way for you to support us, but there's also a lot of features there that I think you will enjoy. Second thing is that nearly all of our episodes are unedited. The only ones that aren't are pre-law materials, and the reason for that is so you can actually see the legal material in its raw form as I'm learning it as well. The third thing is that the information contained in these episodes are specifically only for educational purposes. They're not to be used as legal advice, and with that, the fourth thing is if it is used as legal advice, we are not liable. That is, Law Schoolers is not liable for any legal outcomes. Thank you again for enjoying the show. Have a good one.